We're going to pick it back up. And this is Getting Ready for the New Year Part 2. And we're going to show you how to take action. After the intro, let's get it.
You have one life. You got a calling and a purpose. Welcome to the Witness to Power podcast, the show that encourages and inspires you to be who God has called you to be. I'm your host and digital evangelist, Ashley Sims.
There is something about the new year that changes mentality, the power of that number changing from 2021 to 22 and now to 23, because it represents change. And that's where you're going to focus on is changing the mentality of how you have been dealing with your life right now. I've been fortunate enough to be blessed because of some actions that I've taken in the past. And then also I've had some misfortunes because I didn't take the action that was needed at the time. And I can look back over that and see it would have significantly changed my life and the family members around me and anybody who was dealing with an association with me. But for some reason, I could not focus on that one thing. I kept dealing with the someday I'm going to get to it. And I just laid that dream down and said it's not important at this time. And so we have to focus on the taking action part of what we say we're going to do. We got to do what we're going to say. We got to expect to win, and we got to make it happen. We have a lot of talents that God has gifted us with. And somebody say, man, I only have one. That one can produce many. You know, if you look at what the Bible talks about fruits, if you plant a seed, you're going to get a harvest. If you ever drove by a farmland or watched it on television or seen it on the internet, that one seed, a lot of things grows. Like if you look at an orange tree or an apple tree, there's a lot of fruit from that one seed. So even with the gift that we have or gifts and talents that we possess, it's the fact that we haven't put it in the right soil because we're not producing a harvest. Sometimes we've been exposed to just getting stuff done and checking out the block where we say, I got it done. But what was the reason behind this thing? What was the purpose for this, what you have put forth? So as you take action in 2023, it's time to live free. It's the bondage of not doing something, the bondage in your mind of failure, the bondage in the mind of not asking for some help or from instruction, or just taking time out to learn something. Sometimes we just jump right in. Other times we use not knowing as an excuse. There's a fine line between faith and fear. Sometimes we look at fear and say, this is it. That's the real deal. That's the vision. That's what's going to happen. I'm protecting myself and people around me from this avenue. Like I was talking with an individual before, we were talking about how failure isn't really a bad thing because, as you all know, starting something new, you're not going to be good at it. It takes time. You develop your skills. Even as an artist born with that talent, I still have to work at it. I still have to get better. And if I don't do it a lot, as we say, that muscle memory, some things become hard. But I know I can do it. And put in the time. It's not going to take me as long as somebody who is learning how to draw, who wasn't born gifted drawing. And I believe that's one of those things that get in our way when we get that someday mentality. Someday I'll do it because you know how. And that can really hold you back from taking action. Sometimes we complain about, man, if I had this, man, if I had that, if I was born in this family, if I look like that. And time again, you'll hear individuals that have come up from nothing, become famous or well-known or wealthy in the sense where they don't have to worry about that aspect of money or things of that nature. They produce things. It seems like everything they touch turn to gold, like they have a hidden secret. The secret is they didn't quit. They looked at what some may call failure or disappointment and looked at, okay, what didn't go right? What must I change? What did I miss? They look at it as a learning experience. Like we say, most people say this. I know I say it a lot. If you make a mistake, don't live in that moment. Recognize what you didn't know and learn from it and grow from it. And that's what it's going to take for us to take action on the things that we have left in the back to go after something else. So in 2023, this new year, as we go forward and focus on, we got to keep our eyes on the Lord. Eyes on me, 2023. Time to live free in 2023. Whatever you want to put with that to make you excited about, to get you excited about, to take action, whatever theme you want to put on this year, just know that you got to take some action. You got to make a decision. Decisions have to be made. You got to look at the things that held you back the prior year and the things that you looking at that you know you have to change. You know you have to work on. You even say it to yourself every day that I need to work on this. I'm going to build this business. I'm going to get my fitness right. I'm going to get my relationship right. I'm going to pen this book. I'm going to go deeper in the word. Things of that nature. A lot of things in your mind that you hear echoing is just being put off because the someday mentality, you had a significant change in your life. Your focus got redirected. But as I grow in age and get a new year, watch my kids grow up into young adults, I'm starting to understand and see things differently. Those choices that we put off could have made a difference in those individuals' lives, those that connect to you. And that's a serious thing. We hear motivational speakers and top-notch speakers say this all the time, but you don't recognize it at the time. Your circumstances of your life speaks louder to you than the freedom that you can have when you walk in your gift and in your purpose, when you accomplish that thing. I always hear my wife talk about one of the gifts is she writes a lot of books, and I always hear her talking about how good it feels to accomplish this thing. We talk about goals, and she did a book about goals as well, a book about purpose. There's a messaging in those books that people need to hear because sometimes we are distracted. We look at things and say, oh, here we go again. Well, I dare say this to you. Sometimes we look at things as insignificant, but then we have a laundry list of things that we want and complain about and wonder why. Because God is giving you the vision, the dream in books and things because maybe you're not hearing him and maybe you doubt yourself, but he has messengers everywhere. That's why it's so awesome when you finally get it and then you look back and say, oh, God has been talking to me the whole time. I just didn't recognize it because I was so focused on the wrong thing. We have to focus on the right thing and take that action. And if you don't know what that is, I want you to look at your life and see what you complain about the most or think about the most that's negative and positive and connect it to what God is speaking in your heart. Because sometimes we know what to do. Well, we claim we don't know what our goal is. We claim we don't know what our talents are. But sometimes we know because we're looking at other people and they look like they have the best gift. And you are actually wanting that gift and ignoring the one that's in you. That happens. But we got to look at what God has gifted us with. That don't mean that's the only one you're gonna be gifted with. Let's look at a person that had 5 talents. He gained 5 more. And then God gave him another one. It's as much as you want and take action on. Don't let theology get in the way of God. If you desire it, God can give it to you. But you got to be faithful to a few things and he make you rule over many. But accomplishing things is not just in the mind. It's also the physical, making it manifest. So to get ready for 2023, get ready for this new year, we got to start dealing with the things that need to be dealt with. Look at in your life something that you know you need to change for the good, for the better, so that you can get to the next. There's always something that's holding you from getting to the next. And that's what we had to deal with. So this year that's coming forward, while we still got a few days left in this year that we are in, start preparing yourself. Don't do it on the new year, the new day. It's time to start preparing right now to take action on those things that you're going to change. Yeah, you're going to change them. Because now you're doing it not because people are looking at you. And if people are looking at you, use it as a motivation, not as a disservice to you, not as something negative, even though they may be saying jeering things to you, negative things, but use that as motivation and showing what your God can do. Because when they see you, you don't have to say anything to. They're going to see the change in you. They're going to see the emotional change, the physical change, the excitement in your voice. That is going to start drawing them. And then you can talk about your God, not about the thing, because that's going to come after you say the hand of the Lord has done this. The Lord helped me through this battle that I'm fighting within myself. So we got to first fight this battle within us, that we can pick up that dream that we put down, that we can deal with the fear of focusing on what we had to change. And then we can change that someday mentality into today. So let's get ready for this new year so we can go forth. So when we come back to this new year again, God so spare our lives that we can talk about all those wonderful victories and have excitement and look forward to doing it again and again and again and keep building. And before you know it, you're living free. You're living in abundance. You're making a difference. You're changing lives because you're lining up with your purpose that God gave you. Let's get excited and get ready for the new year. We'll talk again. Reach one, reach many. Be blessed. Till next time, have an awesome week.
Have you ever felt that you've not lived up to your full potential? Or maybe you felt that you have no idea what you truly want out of life, but you feel you can do more than what you're doing now? Then I have the book for you, 21 Steps to Walk in Purpose, to help you shake off the stagnation and fogginess into doing your purpose. Go to walkinpurposenow.com. Yes, that's walkinpurposenow.com and grab your copy today and walk in the purpose that you know is designed for you. Remember, I believe in you. So go and grab your copy of 21 Steps to Walk in Purpose and live the purpose that I know you have within you to live.
Thanks again for listening to another episode of the Witness to Power Podcast. Don't forget to check us out at www.witnesstopowerpodcast.com. And also subscribe to the podcast on iTunes. And be sure to check out the Witness to Power fan page on Facebook. Have a great week.